patron any day di kan a wo hwe me a me show so be subscribe na afin so forward the video yi akoma adofo na omo nso anya bi ahwe me patron me a me ka say ye frame Derek or say na page ni din di do music and media me patron ne asema me be kan fa artist a ye friend say Kwesi ho a ye chirima nyoma ekoso social media so de bebre kwa na enam se de me be kan fa ne ho no matcho ne brofo ne ntino medical kan brofo no me kan brofo ne wi a na ma chirima betwi se de be ya obi a betimi ate ase me wi a me breaking it down na mama wo hu dia ekoso potin menim sa amanfo bebrebe na ye videos aye ne afa ho ba video we de shonko kra because video we me ka me mouth facts me wi a na me biem na maka enioma nso so a esi ene de ekoso samire ya. In January 2026, Ghanaian rapper Kwesi entered a highly public legal and verbal dispute with his former label Ground Up Charlie and its CEO Glenn Boating. Me pacho na is a chima highly public legal and verbal dispute. Na is a chima Kwesi ne former label e de si ani gidi a chese enna fom kra na no enye se anonko ano mo de kika de bi enya anonko a esa wo aban mu what you say nti esa wo aban mu ade bia wo aban mu bia na chese paper involve inti allegation Kwesi ne dia to ne so no na me be kan no say the rapper leveled several serious claims against the label through social media and public statements. Na say obetro public statements eto abontin nti ma men kan de Kwesi ebetro to abontin say de be ya ubehu the otroye eto abontin we na Kwesi to abontin or say if anything happens to me, Glenn Boating and all team members of Ground Up Chile are responsible and should be held responsible. I am currently being asked to pay $150,000 for using images of myself for this current project. Ground Up claims to own me, my image, my music and everything attached to it from 2016 to this day, although I have not worked or had any affiliation to the company since Son of Jacob. I have not made a dime from any of my music within the period I worked with them for years now and received constant threats and manipulation from Glenn, who is living off my money and hard work. If for whatever reason this project that I am trying to give to my fans independently gets taken down, no, Glenn is responsible. He is working constantly around the clock for me to never put out music again. I have tried to not say anything for a long time though. This has affected my well-being and mental health greatly, but for the safety of myself and my family, I chose to publicly share the truth. Lampacho Kwesi asema ono otro tu dwa no na moma yenko allegation na ekoso no say the rapper leveled several serious claims against the label via social media and public statements. Me pacho na me kan kire usisia no after alleged that the label demanded $150,000 for him to use his own image for his latest project. Not just in the latest project I will be, company no SU no say on chia $150,000. Na yes any X record label no. Omu demanded $150,000. Omu se Kwesi entria sa $150,000 na nyade omu be jano amane puti out ni song. Financial exploitation. See, he claimed he has not earned a dime from his music catalog for years and accused the label of unlawfully claiming ownership of his image and music from 2016 to the present. And that is a chima or if it is or share from 2016 no our ni label na ye adwuma na no onyenye ska bia mfiri mu onye ska bia mfiri mu na afin so no enye ska kwan no onye mfiri mu ni image ni ade na o use ni ade nyina no ani music na o claim say ye ne de ani no onye bibia mfiri mu na me wi am be breaking it down say the be a wo beti ase na safety concern or say Atta expressed fear for his and his family safety, stating that if anything were to happen to him, Glen Boatin and Ground Up Charlie should be held responsible. Na say or chirima Kwesi Arthur ne sisa ne manoma we na ekoso nti no osuro na afin so osuro e ma na busuafo nti wasi ne pi sese bibi eto na yembusa ne former record label boss Glen Boatin no ti eno na Kwesi Arthur kan wa asem na sabotage nso wo say he accused the label of trying to block or take down his independent project a enyo ne record label ni na yeye, which is the Redemption Valley no, which was scheduled for release in middle January. Na January mfimfini na oye na just be release, but em say nyoma we ntimi amba out nti no na ochemu say mo sabotage no record label ni sabotage na o mama ne kwan manamfa sa project no anye den anto abontin ti de Kwesi Arthur canon ti allegation we nyina no make against a record label na record label ni so mo so aba ba den abeka senti nsem mo be kan ye no eno na me ba be chirim a kire se de be ya oso obeti ase the label's legal counsel Jonathan Amabo refuted Arthur's claim in a January 22nd 2026 na say omo lawyer lawyer ujinama record label no aba abontin abekasa na asema all can say the lawyer stated that email records show Arthur received over 91,000 euros in royalty disbursement during his time with the label. Now, yes, during his time with the label, no lawyer na ba bekase Kwesi Arthur ejiska, which is 91,000 euros, 91,000 euros. A more record to show off. Ska ekudi Kwesi Arthur honum nyina no. Number 2 no say contractual terms. He clarified that Arthur was under a 4-year contract. Now I say from 2017 to 2021 with a 60-40 revenue split in the label's favor. Now I say 2021 nimno na Kwesi Arthur no e was say onunya 40% of revenue. Na label ne fa 60%. And later a movie ye ekoda 50-50%. What I say? And tinsane na mi chire mu ba no. Lawyer na sema a obekan ye na o chi na mi chire mu ba. And a counter accusations. The label claimed Arthur received approximately $118,712 dollars from the music distributor Platoon for his Son of Jacob album without paying the label its rightful share. Na yes, omu chirima Kwesi Arthur efa ho ekoji ska free distributor on my friend say Platoon. The ska oje ye no na omu che say $118,712 without paying the label its rightful share. Na yes say sa project no Kwesi Arthur na nkasa ka kra say oni label ni na coming together a Son of Jacob no and omu create that album no. But omu chirima omu create album ni wie ye no distributor no e de ade ne to abontin o de ade ne to abontin no ska e be mu no a e wo senka Kwesi Arthur e chem 50-50 a o de 50% no ko so de koma label no wan fan koma label no e na o tena ska ne so asema lawyer no e kan no asema label no lawyer na e kan o se owo evidence nti na o kan to abontin no and image restrictions. Council denied the $150,000 demand, stating Arthur was only restricted from using specific footage produced by the label during their active partnership. Council denied the $150,000 demand. Now just say, or Chirima ex record label in demand so here $150,000 be every Kwesi Arthur ho. Now so Kwesi Arthur say more beka and say record label ni here $150,000 no. Enye sa netie. Na mum o state se Kwesi Arthur no omo restricted no, they restricted him from using certain footage record label ni na yede e produce here nti eno ni asema lawyer no abeka nti asem na Kwesi Arthur kan yin na no lawyer ne so abe clarify nyoma amemu aye clear nti we nyina ekoso no na asparkle conversation on social media manfo asha ase de tag ato so say free Kwesi Arthur, free Kwesi Arthur, free Kwesi Arthur. Na me pacho a lot of musicians ababe kasa na de obia can say free Kwesi Arthur asema mo kan say Kwesi Arthur ende ne ho na ɔmo timi so ɔmo brother no or konsimu pa or fancy mu na ɔmo benya na nka ɔmo bɛyɛ den ɔmo bɛboa no but mboa no sɛdeɛ ɛsi ayɛ no unhyɛ den hu asɛm no sɛ ɛkɔ n'anim sɛ ɛba n'akyi nti no wowɔ mmoa bi kora na ɛwɔ sɛ saa mmere no wotame kakra na ɔhwɛ sɛdeɛ ade no bɛsi akɔ n'anim ebi a ɛne da a wote something about record label na nti ma menkɔ kan something about record label ne hu adwuma a record label ɔmo yɛ nti record label no this is what they do. A record label is a company that supports musical artists by financing, I know you're number one, producing, distributing and marketing their music while managing intellectual property rights. Now I say record label no a company a juma kuo what I say omoboa musical artists obi oye nwum bia no record label no also obeboa e kwan be so no obefa so aboa omo de omo sika ebe show nwum omo sika no omo de hye umu no omo boa ama watimi a produce enwum asa distribute nwum omo wi a omo asa di omo sika himama wasa pushi marketing wa market music uwie nso so a all the intellectual properties no masa manage aka wade bia ufri umu a ode ye pie bia no omo sa manage nyina aka ho or see they function as both creative partners and investment banks. They say omo function to say creative partner when they come they partner with you and they are also creative people are almost supporting any idea or they beba what I say and I say they be free more baby and we know be partner now almost I serve as investment bank handling logistics like manufacturing, streaming logistics, radio promotion and brand management to maximize an artist's reach and profitability. Now I say omo ba artist no omo show ma onyum no etimi pie on all the platforms etimi echo radio station so omo boa with all this logistics and afi nso so no onyoma nyina o fast ne ade nyina no they keep it safe omo boa bibia no ema artist no so basically no they cover everything surrounding an artist. That is Oshima. The only thing that the artist needs to do is to go to the studio and record a song. Write a song. What I say, sometimes record labels need to work around. They also do have songwriters that help with writing of the song. What I say, Henti, Sana identity. Enti Ushima record label no almost so artist more. They groomed the artist. They make sure say artist no ade bia na or they beto abontin bia no or ma take care of everything apart from the artist recording the song and also performing it. What I say na say artist be record it or be perform it bia e ka hu bia no is on the record label, and this is what we call partnership. Nampacho yenhwe key functions of a record label: artist and repertoire, scouting, singing and developing new talent. Scouting, yes, omo singing and developing new talent. Omo hwehwem hu nipa anase artist a omo pure omo what talent no no ma yeden omo bo omo ama talent na yeden afefe. Me pacho won say dey sitie ti record label ebo ama talent no emu peja ti record label bi obeso mu a still a woda so ye de wo ye no na che record label no onim de wo ye record label de oba na so obeso mu a o make sure say one kasa anytime bia no you are improving on the work that you put out, and you yourself you need to challenge yourself. So we are artist and a production and finance, funding recording session. That is a recording session no record label ni make sure so mo be found there. Mixing of the sound. Artists no are recording yum every studio akoto yum no ato beat ni so no. Beat ni kura no free. Most of them no free. Record label ni hono na eba. What you say? And the artist na akoto bibia to beat ni so no. The record label has to make sure say mixing, what you say, and a recording session no funding and a mastering and music videos no nyina a record label ni na yesa adwuma no me pacho asema aye kan wasem bi I say kind of like every single song. Yemfani say with the studio session, mixing, mastering, and video ni bibia no krano inyis kaketwa just for a single track. Wahu the record label no the artist no be nyina no when fast aka no marketing and promotion, creating campaigns, managing publicity, hiring stylists, and arranging media coverage. Me pacho creating campaigns no a promotion. Most of the time the artists they do not know these things. Say even campaigns are being created for them. Say they be pushy omo nyom no be pushy omo numbers na kwachi. Managing publicity. Now I say anything that comes in the eyes of the public, they make sure say they are managing it. Hiring stylists. Now I say if you want to crana entire artists ni beshani adadina, they need to hire a professional to take care of that. Unless artist na ankasa no one star na ofili so no ankasa using a star no. And I think so media coverage be no na arrange, which is very clear. Afi muma yen hwade or see distribution, getting music onto streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and in physical stores. Now I say record label omudwumade ba akọ mo ye pa ni say they make sure say your music is on all the digital music platforms no. Like it's solid there, its presence, and it's also going on. Number two, legal and copyright management, handling contracts, licensing, and protecting the ownership of master recording. Number two, record label so onima omo handle contracts. Na is a contract bia na artist no ebeba na kwen bia na ye record label ne be handle. Licensing omo make sure so onyum nyina no omo license ni gu honom, and protecting the ownership of master recording. Na is a master recording nyina no omo na ebebo ho ban se da be obi ntimi nya den embefa wonyum emfa nkoye bibia. The record labels typically provide an advance payment to artists and in exchange retain a significant portion of revenue, often 80% generated from streams, sales, and sometimes touring. Now, as artists no ebe tour scale be free map no record label no most of the time we offer 80%. And are generated from streams so 80% no offer sales. Now say in total no record label, if you are on a record label you only have 20%. I don't know what rights on most of the record label they demand 80%. When you are able to come by a record label that they are able to or they are willing to negotiate with you, I think say it's a plus. And no one say record label no or no why then a negotiate. And also if this is what a record label does, then let's ask ourselves, what does the artist do? Okay, artist no the intellectual property no ena or the ma record label no me pacho yentie ni ye artist no intellectual property ena or the ma record label no artist no the songwriting no if you no the voice if you no the imagery say the artist na ankasa o si tie say o si dress fa say o si kasa say o si ye bibia no nyina no eye ne intellectual property or the den or the ma label no say the be on bi di djuma nti na your friend is a partnership. Nti say artist bi wo no na so say wa sign ama record label no ono de say no sign ma record label wa benya fans no kra no ni say a record label no na udi kan ne onwe ye adwuma what you say omumom na e push you to that level omumom ni so mu edo music to abontin piapia won kakra ema would do some pension. There were times that a lot of people were complaining say artists no record label ne buana edu baby a scare by was say omo channel mu dididia afi na artist ne person ote ne ho me pacho me hu ne say ankenya ne bone so, but everything that you are doing, you make sure say nipa na one no e share adwuma so no ne betena se akasa ne nti ase aye den aye adwuma bi didi se Kwesi ata di oni omo akasa ebia nti ase na anye adwuma na abedru baby a adru no ba bi didi so omo de nioma to akwan mu a na omo toto nioma yi anki betimi aye den akodru onum na artist adwene no sometimes na ya na unhu se de sitie because na shasie most of the time or ma shasie no different from when the fame comes. You know, when the fame comes, influences na ya na edoso wo mo side Into most of the time, no, they want to do things on their own. They want to go by and be their own bosses and everything. But one thing that every artist should not forget is that record label does most of these works for you. Because say Uko studio crana, sometimes even just to spend an hour in a studio, it can cost you like 100 euros. 100 euros. So if you have a record label who is paying for every hour for you to be able to record music, paying for marketing, putting out your music, distributing, financing, all these aspects, I think say you should also value the work of the label. Not label necessarily and value the image and also what you na any songwriting ne intellectual property now or they back it at the app no. What I say. So the respect should come from both sides. Obia a plain rule said everything will be successful. So this is what a record label does. Say na watching minim say ebia wa adwen as a pie akodru baby foforo. Na me patcho yen hwa ade bi wa say. Emra asem ne beto odwa no na artists no different obi a che na adwen ni adade nti obi a che na adwen ni na artist and friends say Kwaw Kese say me hu ne say amanfo kasa too much. In January 2026 a public dispute arose between Ghanaian rappers Kwaw Kese and Kwesi following an unsolicited fundraising attempt. Now I say fundraising attempt because so Kwesi no na onya away. What I say onfo aso na said na me chirimba no Kwaw Kese na oti sensem we nyina yekoso no de ben na yebetimi aya abo Kwesi said e be ya enkoye say even though say ye kasa so yenye bibia ambo ano ti Kwaw Kese na ankasa minim di okreti account ni ma no ono ankasa ye GoFundMe account and o sha say or ma amanfo donate said e be ya o mo be raise $150,000 no ama Kwesi no etimi dia settle ni former record label. And what's the reason? Say Kwaw Kese claimed the funds were needed to help Kwesi settle a legal dispute with his former record label Ground Up Chile, which was reportedly demanding that amount for the use of label-owned visual material. Label-owned visual material. Now you say label ne visual material mo own no. And no na Kwaw Kese yes say or jijiska na nkomo dia settle label no na asem na tinya yede ato aso. Kwesi reaction or be reacted na me be kan. So Kwesi immediately distanced himself from the fundraising, urging fans not to donate. He stated he had no affiliation with the campaign and preferred to handle his legal matters privately with his lawyers. Me pacho Kwesi nso so tes asem na no ba out be kasaye. Asem o kan say or no sa GoFundMe na Kwaw Kese fundraising na Kwaw Kese asha ase no onim ho hwe na ono de oyi ne ho afrim na o prefer say oni ni lawyers ebe kasa ho ani ni fiefo ebe kasa ho na oni ni former record label no Ground Up Chile at court na che so makoye de o makoka asem ne wo honum ti outcome ne na me be ka no following the backlash and Kwesi public disapproval. Kwaw Kese deleted the fundraising link. I say Kwaw Kese the oye nyina echi no Kwesi ani anje ho ono nso kire say the Kwaw Kese ye no nim ho hwe ampa nso Kwaw Kese ye bibisa no wambo Kwesi amane nka ne nwa keto anko betinga afafo na frɛ no say say ni you na say na me pese ye na me de boa e bi kran ka satan no ka Kwesi betinga ka chense chale ehun hia but wa anye saade no the Kwesi te ya ne say Kwaw Kese asha say ejijiska ono nso ni mu hwe nti oba public ne be ka say de ekoso no ni mu hwe me prefer say me ankasa me ne me lawyers e be solve asem no privately nti etiefo asem we na ekoso page ni ye do music and media na social media so de obi e kasa ama YouTubers for mo nso sika ba nti ye frame Derek o say ti bi ebesi bia no ye de be ba beto aso na ahase de se de me kan ye no de etwa gunku ana ye de bremo. Thank you very much for watching and have a nice day. Bye.